You are now checking out The Win Podcast, where the everyday people are the celebrities. So let's get to know them.
Hey guys, it's Alexandra Gutierrez, Spiritual Cloud, and I'm here at the Win Podcast.
She's an actress, writer, producer, like everything. She did like 40 million jobs, and I'm still learning about every new job she has done in this world. So that guest is Alexandra Gutierrez, also known as Spiritual Cloud.
Yes.
So what is my connection with you? Well, we already explained that, yeah, you're my wife, but before that, we met in an acting class.
Trees acting class.
Yes. Oh, say hello. I didn't even say.
Hi, yeah. Hi, everyone. How are you?
So she said hi. That's great.
He actually handcuffed me to be here.
No, she did not want to do this. She kicked herself out 40 million times.
I'm producing this podcast. I don't need to be in it.
Yeah, she kicked me out she kicked herself out of this podcast like 40 times. I'm like, you let me know if you want to do it or not, because the worst thing to turn off is like giving somebody a hand job that you don't really like. Yeah, I don't like that. It's like the worst ever. So I'm like, do not come into this interview like, yeah, I'm an actor. It's great. Like, you gotta be motivated. So I was
honored, to be honest. I was honored, but I'm like, you can use me next year.
Yeah, whatever. So yeah. Mm-hmm. I want to know of course, our connection is I met you in the acting class, in Victor's acting class, mm-hmm. and Spiritual Tree, and we met there, and I was like, not only she looks great, she's great looking, but she's also a great actress.
After my booty.
I was looking at a lot of booties there, to be honest. Victor had
mine and
some great,
everyone, all the other girls'
Victor
booties.
had some great, but you was one of the first, and then I found out at that time you had one. I was like, all right, let me look to the left, and there's another booty right there. But he had not only had great actors, he had a great prime rib of women there. She was very talented. But yeah, so that's where we met, mm-hmm. and then from there on, we kept on seeing each other and the spiritual gatherings that we had.
We became spiritual brothers and sisters.
Then we committed incest and the whole story. So who are you, and what does your name mean to you?
My spiritual name or my work?
It doesn't matter, whatever, both or whatever. Like, just tell people who are you. What do you do, and like, what is
I'm
your
a woman. I'm a woman, daughter, an aunt, wife now, an actress. I work for a catering company in an office. I do a lot of things. I'm a woman who likes to try new things, who likes challenges, who loves children, who loves to be creative and learn new things, and travel and learn about different cultures.
Nice.
And my worldly name is Alexandra, and my mom gave it to me because she heard it in a song that Charitín used to sing a long time ago. And thankfully, she heard that song, because otherwise, when the police officer that delivered me when I was born...
His name was Charitín.
No. He told my mom, you should have named her... his name was Eugenio. You should have named her after me. So I would have been Eugenia. And I was like, thank goodness that you heard that song, because...
Eugenia, Charitín, Alexandra, not a good catch.
So to me, I love that name. I think it's a beautiful name. To me, it means royalty. Like, when I hear it, it just means royalty. When I research the name, I think it says protector of mankind. My spiritual name, which I earned, and as you know, that's our name, lifetime after lifetime, is Spiritual Cloud. And I absolutely love that name, and it means a lot to me.
Nice. I want to get into, you're an actress, writer, dancer, singer, producer. You wear many hats. Mm-hmm. And I want to know, what was like the first gift that kind of like came to you that, before you wore all these hats, it was like probably one of the first things that came to you, and like, what was that gift? Take us down that journey when you realized, I just sang. I'm gonna be.
The first gift that came to me was dancing. As a little girl, I would watch PBS, Channel 13, and I would watch all the ballets that would be on, and I would imitate the girls, and I would not fully learn the dances, but I would copy like all the moves they would do, and I gracefully felt like I was a dancer. Turns out I found out that in a past life I was. So from there, dancing was always a passion, and I got involved in elementary school. You know how you do shows and stuff, and drama and this and that, art. I always loved anything creative. And my sister and I used to do role playing a lot with my neighbor.
Did you go to the Chariting School of Dance?
I actually did.
It's a phenomenal dance school.
I actually did. Charity. You don't know that show?
I was watching the Eugene musical.
You weren't even born when that show was on. Actually, she had a show, and they used to sing Charity. Anyway.
Don't know. Go ahead.
She had a variety show.
Was it canceled?
She had a variety show. Her husband, and it was like a variety.
It does ring a bell.
Anyway, so we used to do role playing. We used to play secretary, this, nurse. Anyway, so that enhanced my role playing, acting stuff. And then from then on, I got involved in dancing in junior high school. I went to high school for dance. Then I got into musical theater. And it's from there.
So basically, you started as like a young child, and then you started taking it
officially
seriously in high school.
Junior high school, I was dancing. I was dancing first. Yeah. So
how many years was doing that?
8th grade.
So in the beginning, it was just strictly dance. And what made you want to not give it up, but made you okay, now I'm gonna transition to this.
Okay, so I took dance in junior high school, 8th grade. And then I took classes on the side. And then in junior high, we also had drama. And I like drama, but I focused more on dance. And then in high school, I got involved in musical theater. And that's when I was like, oh, wait, I like acting too. So I learned singing, dancing, and acting. So I did all. I was a triple threat.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What was there any were you inspired by what inspired the dancing? And I guess the acting, was there a movie? Was there,
dancing was, like I said, naturally I would love dancing.
It just naturally.
Yeah,
it wasn't like you saw people dancing or whatever. You heard the music and it was
I would watch the ballerinas and I didn't watch a movie. And acting, I used to watch a lot of movies, but I feel like doing it was what inspired me. Actually being in a play, playing, I was in, what was my first play? Well, I did plays in junior high school and elementary, but my first play in high school, I think it was Little Shop of Horrors, if I'm not mistaken. And that was a musical, Little Shop of Horrors, and I played the customer.
Was your family into, did you have anybody in the family too that was artistic like you? That because you said...
No, famous, no. I was
not famous, but anybody that also danced, that also liked acting,
not in my household.
Yeah, because for you, was you're not so much wasn't inspired from a movie or you saw the ballerinas, but it was you didn't go to a play or a place to see ballerinas or whatever and be I want to do that. You know what I'm saying?
5 kids. I couldn't. They didn't send me to dance class. None of that. Everything I did on my own.
Oh, okay.
My parents never put me in a dance class. Because 5 kids, imagine, they were raising 5 children. So everything that I pursued on my own. Yeah.
So what was so you went from dancer to actress, and then you started auditioning after a while. Did you go to college as well?
Yes. In high school, I started auditioning and getting headshots and everything since high school.
High school.
Yeah. I used to go to auditions in high school for small things, and then I was a part of the high school marching band. I also did this big performance for Jerry Herman, who's known in the musical theater world. When he passed away, there was a big show honoring him. The gay men's chorus sang, so we were one of the dancers and actors in it as well. We sang, and from then on to college, I pursued acting too.
what do these gifts like give you? You know, like when you dance, when you're, I get, so is there are there different highs? Cause
okay,
you know, from
for
dancing,
me, I was a shy girl. So in my household, there would be gatherings, and I would be in my room, the one observing and watching. And I was shy, would not, you know, interact with other people. But I always felt that when I danced or anything that dealt with creativity, I felt like that was my way of expressing myself. That was the best way that I could express myself. I also wrote in a lot in journals. So I guess that was my hidden writing that I didn't know of. I always felt that anything creative was my go-to for me to express myself. And I always felt comfortable in it. And that's when I wasn't shy. It's weird. I was a shy person in the normal world, but if you put me on stage, I wasn't shy.
Which can I agree? I can agree because I was very, you know, for me, and also there's a trend from a lot of artists. They're very quiet, but if you put them on stage, they just fucking blow up.
Like, you're like, you're not shy. I'm like, yeah, I am shy.
What did you experience when you would go on these on stage? Because you know, like you come off stage, you get this high. So I guess for me, what do you experience when you're in those moments, and is it different from one art form from another?
That's a good question. Dancing, I would feel as I'm in another world. What did I even know another world? Like when I dance, I feel as if I'm the only one there. That's how I feel. I would describe that. And it's just, I would ask people who took drugs, like, okay, how do you feel when you smoke this? Oh, I feel like this, like this, like this. I'm like, well, I kind of felt that way when I danced. That's how I describe it. Is it the
same feeling too when you act? Is it the same thing, or that's different?
Acting is somewhat similar, but because you're in a scene with someone else, it's not a world by myself. I'm in a world with another person, experiencing these different emotions, especially if it's something that's very dramatic. And it's something that you're in the moment. When you're done, you're like, whoa, what just happened? That you even forget what just happened. That happens with acting. Singing, I don't sing anymore, but singing, I find it soothing.
Gotcha.
Does it take me on a high? I haven't gotten to that level. Because I stopped pursuing singing. I have I could sing, but I stopped pursuing the singing part.
I think that's like very interesting because like I never really, I guess, asked that question, or I never asked another artist that question, or anyone, or even asked myself that, like, do you experience different highs through the different art forms, stuff like that? That's a good question. Was that feel like for me? I know when I sing, I feel like there's a release, there's a relief, and there's like the singing for me, there's a release, like I'm letting go of something of some sort.
Yeah, I agree.
For on stage, it's like the ultimate fucking high. Like you get off. First of all, nobody exists when you're on stage. You are in a different world. It's like you
and your adrenaline.
Your adrenaline's off through the roof. You're glowing. You're gliding. And then you come off and you're like on cloud 9, and you just stay there for so long, and then it comes down.
It's hard to come down after, even when you go home, you're like, you can't sleep.
It takes a long time to go to sleep, which is one of the hardest things to do. And that's why people sadly would take fucking drugs and shit like that.
Especially when they play dark characters, when they dive into that.
Yeah, that's something that I would like to go into. The place very serious or dark roles, but also being mindful of what can happen and how to be in control of things and stuff like that.
I played a dark character once, and
my wife. No, I'm kidding. That's a good one. It's right there.
Yes, of evil.
So no, how was it? How
that? I played Laz. He was with me in this show, Boricua Scrooge. They did a Boricua version of Scrooge, the play.
So you was yelling at
I was a freaking first of all, I was old ass woman, and I was Spanish, but I was so evil. this character was so evil, and I that's one of the characters that I, till this day, I say I love playing because it was so outside of myself. Even though, of course, I have my evil in it, but you know.
Yeah.
And afterwards, it's just like I would have a headache because of all that energy that you're feeding, that negativity that you're feeding. But then it'll go away.
How did you manage to, I guess, control that and sort of like not take that with you?
It's so funny. Like naturally, I wouldn't take it home with me. It just naturally came that way. I wouldn't go home and be like, yeah, no, it would. I wasn't a method actor. I'm not a method actor that would, just like be that person every day, even when I go home. No, for some reason I was able to like snap out of it.
I want to know, what was the hardest, I guess, obstacles that you faced being in this industry?
The hardest obstacles?
Like, what are some the things that came by that you had to face obstacles? It could also be self-inflicted obstacles from the world.
There's both.
What were some of those things that you faced in the industry?
Industry-wise, what's annoying is the waiting game. Like, having to depend on like, I want to be in a show. But I need an agent. And then you got to get an agent in order for that casting director to see you to be on a show. That's the most annoying thing. It's frustrating. That to me, that has been like the biggest obstacle, which, in this point in time that I'm just doing my own thing. And also within myself, obstacle wise, I wouldn't say never giving up, because I've always tried something, no matter what. But maybe there were certain things that I didn't push myself hard enough. And I should have, but I kind of like don't regret it because I see where I am now. Right.
Did you have like these doubts and worries and insecurities that these most artists do, like when they're out there running this track?
There's been tons of times that I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. I would talk to our spiritual teacher, Guru, and I'm like, Guru, I don't think, I should do this anymore. And she would, she'll talk to me. She goes, give it a try. But of course, if you need to take your time to do whatever you need to do, then do it. And it's funny that every time, there would be 2 or 3 times I would do that. I did that in my life, and something would come. So that's when that's when I knew that, wait, I'm meant to do this.
So what, you've been doing it for so long, you did 20 plus years, and then you have these conversations with your spiritual teacher, and she say, keep going. What makes you keep going? Because she could say keep going, but you don't have to listen to it. You know what I'm saying? So what makes you still keep going?
Keep going for me is, it changes. It's not going to be the same all the time. I started out as the usual, hustling, knocking on doors, like when I started acting, it was you're mailing headshots. I would literally go to offices and drop off my picture. I wouldn't just mail it and be like, oh no, I would go physically. They'll be like, oh, don't visit our office. I would visit the office. I would go, leave my picture. I would do rounds every week. Like I would hustle and bustle, everything. As time went on, I continued doing it. Then I would pause. I kind of am tired of how Hollywood, is that I really don't care. And now I'm at a point that I'm writing, I'm doing my own thing. And if it's meant for me to go to do a movie in Hollywood, then I'll do it. But of course, I'm not gonna sell my soul. And of course, it's gonna be something that I have to read and I have to say, okay, I want to do this, or I don't want to do that. Not because I'm forced to do it, or not because I'm gonna do it because I'm gonna be in Hollywood. Finally, my chance is here. No, that is a different drive.
You said something in there that selling your soul, and that's something that I want to get into. Is that is it challenging for you not to sell yourself for these roles in Hollywood? Have that, because you have these, women and men that go out there and kiss ass, sell themselves. It's like your competition, so supposedly your competition is out there setting the bar way less, where, they're gonna do what they have to do to get that part and sell themselves for that part.
I mean, I've been like, I am a good-looking woman, so when getting in projects, there would be times where I would question, like, did I get this part because the director at the end of the day wants my number, or did I get this project because I actually was good? I would question that, and then I would see at the end that no, it was because it was my acting. But then, of course, there will be people there that, of course, on the side that's
but that never became an issue for you. But
I never got to the point where there was an issue where I was like, oh shit, I'm selling my soul. Thankfully, that hasn't happened to me.
What I want to get, what made you become that, not to lose your integrity? Because that's
something I always had a part of me as a woman in general. There was something that my integrity is. I respect myself too much that I'm not gonna sell myself to anyone. That even came with dating. So when it came to the career, it's the same thing. My integrity, no.
What do you look for in projects? There's a lot of shit that honestly.
I look for projects that have substance, that challenge me. I right now, if the project doesn't challenge, if I don't feel like I'm challenged, that I'm going to learn and grow from this project, or if the project doesn't have a purpose, then I don't want to take it on.
And does that go the same well for your writing?
Yes.
You're writing now.
Yes.
Even producing. Does the same thing travel for every little thing that you do?
Yes. Everything that I put my hands on, even as producing, it's something that I'm passionate about. I'm not going to produce something that I'm not passionate about. I'm not going to give my time to something that I'm not passionate about. Lately, all I've been doing is commercials, which commercials pays the bills, to be honest. Am I passionate about it? It pays the bills. Commercials, are commercials. So that, in a way, is like, okay, it pays the bills. I do it. It pays my bills. But yeah.
Has there ever been like a fulfilling, role that you had? Of course, you've been doing this for so long, but what was like a fulfilling, dream role that you had, or maybe something that you would like to do?
I'm actually working on a dream project right now with my spiritual teacher and 3 of my spiritual sisters. And all I can say is about past lives.
Okay, so but it's
I can't say anymore.
Yeah.
But that to me is like my fulfilling project.
Now, has there been something similar to that came from the world, that
came from the world, or that I?
No, you have that dream thing that you're doing. Now, has there been fulfilling, almost like a piece that you got from the world that you're like, wow, I can't believe this is actually a good script that I'm gonna do.
I did a few short film scripts, but I haven't seen the actual final product of it.
Okay, gotcha.
So those are the disappointing parts. I've done so many projects where I did 2 recently that I was so happy with the script, with the character, and I didn't see the final product, and I was so disappointed. There were 2 student films it ended up being, and I was like, that's it, I'm not doing it. Do
you find yourself conflicted, since you're a writer, that you will want to change certain things in script? What do you do in those type of moments where
oh my God, there have been times that I'm like, oh, I don't like this. How do I find my way? So I'll talk to the director, and if the director ends up being the writer, I ask them, is it okay to change this because this is how I feel about the character, blah, 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 and then we'll have a discussion.
Dude, this whole process of your whole journey, being in this 20 plus years, did your family understand your journey, in this role? So because they probably seen it on TV or whatever, but no one in your family is creative or whatever that you know of. They never brought this to you because they have 5 kids or whatever. But even your sisters and everybody else, they don't have these creative bones. You're the one that came down with 7 of these gifts that's creative. Do they understand this journey of an artist, being the only person in this family of an artist? So did they understand it?
The answer to that is, I don't really know if they understand it, but they respect it and they support it. if they understand it, I wouldn't ever know. That's a good question. I'm gonna have to ask them. Do you understand what I'm going through?
You know that.
But there is a respect that I've never gotten, like, from my parents. My mom will ask, "Oh, so what did you do?" She'll ask me, but she will never say, "Oh, you're wasting your life." I never got a discouraging word from them, like, "Oh, you're wasting your life. What are you doing?" But she will always say, "You're gonna go to college, right? You're gonna get your education." Like, that was important to them. But it wasn't. I never heard any discouraging words like, "You're wasting your life." But they'll be like, "Oh, okay," you know.
What about your sisters and brothers? Like, do they?
No, very supportive.
They supportive,
yeah.
But they understand, I guess, the
Actually,
road of.
I get a lot, like, from my nieces. I would get like, wow, like, how honored they are that I have taken a life with so much risk, and they're proud of how strong I am, and that I've never given up on what I believe. Nice. And that means a lot to me, that I'm able to instill that to them, and that they can do whatever they want, and they can follow their dreams. So that, to me, setting an example, even if I don't hear it, but when I hear that from them, then I'm like, I'm setting an example.
How do you deal with, the rejection from Hollywood? Hollywood, student films, whatever.
Auditions, basically.
Auditions, period. Like,
all the time. And you get callbacks. Yeah, oh, I almost got it.
There's just so much rejection out there, which is part of life. How do you deal with it for so many years? And after a while, I know it will probably take a toll. And some days, there's some years where you're like, fuck it, whatever, I'm just keep on doing it. So, like, how do you deal with it? I guess there's different stages of dealing with rejection, from getting used to it, from like, why is this happening, from accepting it, to then getting frustrated.
All of those. When I started, it was like, oh, okay. And when I started, it was like, okay, what do I have to learn from this? Because you're starting, what I have to learn from this. Then I'm like, what did I do wrong? They didn't like this. They didn't like me. You put all this thing like, oh, what did I do wrong? And putting all this blame on yourself, or getting depressed, or like checking your phone, like, oh my God, that's the call. Every time the phone rings, oh my God, that I'm getting it.
Oh, it's not. That's not Rick.
I'm officially to the point that I go to the auditions, I have fun. I don't even think about it. I leave that room, it's gone. Oh, how did the audition go? Oh, fine. And I don't think about it. Then if I get a call back, I get a call back. Then there's been times where call back, but you don't get booked. That can be frustrating, but not to the point that I'm depressed about it. I'm like, damn, can I get one in?
Right.
But it's now I just leave. Next, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Bye.
And how do you feel when you actually, I guess, finally book something? Like, is there,
when I book, I'm like, oh,
is there like an excitement, or is it
like I was celebrating? It's so funny how, because when you do it so often, now I'm just like, oh, I booked something, okay. And I don't tell anyone. I don't tell anyone I booked anything. Now I tell you, of course, because you're my husband. I don't tell anyone. Then once it's out and the commercial's out, that's when people find out. Oh shit, you booked something? Right. I would tell like you, or like my spiritual teacher or my family, like, oh guys, I'm on set. Those are the only people I would share with. But I wouldn't be like, I would be like, great, I booked it. Work. I look at it as work. Gotcha. I booked it. Work.
Now does it feel like work when you're on set?
Okay, listen. I guess it's because it's a commercial.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, if it's gonna be something else, like something I'm looking forward to, then you will have to come back to me and ask me how I feel about that.
Gotcha. Which won't happen because they're gonna keep rejecting in this Hollywood world. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Let them reject me.
But you're used to it.
I'm gonna bring my own shit, and they're gonna be like, "Oh shit."
When you look back, so I was thinking about this the other day. If you take a moment now, right, to look back on all your auditions. All the booked work,
not booked work,
not the booked work. Just the hustle and bustle. Literally going into the office and dropping down a headshot. If you look back on all of that, and even from the moment that you are dancing and feeling a release and freedom, what is something that you noticed and learned from?
For myself?
Yeah. Like if I just painted that whole picture to you of like you as a little
my
girl,
past,
everything. If you look back on every audition, every moment that you stepped in, all the hustle and bustle, the rejection, the booked work, the not booked work, everything. What is something that stands out of that whole
What
thing?
stands out of this for me is that I never gave up on myself and my dreams, and that I've done a lot. Sometimes, even now, like I'll be like, oh, what have I done? I'm hard on myself. I'm my worst critic. I haven't done anything, this and that. Like I see other people do things, and then I'm like, I've done so much, but I know there's more for me to do. So I don't want to stop.
There's I feel like there's a big part of this generation that is lost, and some of them that do know what they want. I feel like there's not.
But you're always learning about what you want. I always tell that to my kids.
But I feel how the generation is being molded now is as if everything should be handed to them. There's not a sense of
the hustle.
The
hustle's not there.
There's no work ethic. There's just if you be mediocre and put in maybe 1 hour of your time, you're gonna become famous, whatever, Or if you do the X amount of drugs and drink, this is where it will get you here, and that's good. I want to know, what is something that you want to tell these young girls who are living in this generation that may not seem, as of right now, so motivating or so inspiring, that it's easy to follow others than to follow your path? What is something you want to tell these young women and young girls that you can pass on to them that you learned?
I would tell them, learn about who and what you are, especially as a woman, as a man, as a young boy, and value yourself. Really learn about what you are doing, and don't sell yourself short. Definitely don't sell yourself short. If something is given to you, question it. Don't just jump into something without first researching it and questioning it first. And don't give up. But you have to have the discipline. Discipline is ideal. You have to do your research, and you have to be hardworking and hustle. Nothing is given to you.
Nice. And now we're going to go to our famous 3 segments of the show. The first segment is called Peekaboo. What do you hide from the world?
Oh, what do I hide from the world? I hide 2 things. I hide when I'm in pain. I don't let people know when I'm in pain because I like to deal with it on my own. And sometimes I hide my truth to people because I like to figure it out for myself.
And what do you show the world?
I show the world my laughter and my love.
Next segment is called If You Would Die Tomorrow at 3 p.m. So, if you would die tomorrow at 3 p.m., what would you like? And I know you behind the scenes all the time.
I know.
I was looking forward to this question. Because I'm like, what is she going to say? So if you would die tomorrow at 3 p.m., what would you like
know
to
the
accomplish?
answer.
No, I don't. Actually, so that's what I'm like. I asked this the other day for you. It was like, you'll wait to see. And I'm like, I'll know.
If I would die tomorrow, I would bring everyone who means the world to me in my life. And I would throw a party and have everyone having colors by the ocean and die. And everyone else can continue on partying because that's exactly how I want to die, with people having a party.
Now, what if everyone rejects that invitation?
Then whoever's meant to be there will be there. If I have kids at that time, then it'll just be me and my kids.
The next segment is called Words from My Spiritual Teacher, Guru Enlightenment. As you guys know from every episode, and I will continue to say it, she is my spiritual teacher who taught me so much about my life.
And mine too, and she's amazing.
Also, she's a spiritual teacher to my wife. She teaches spirituality. Everything is for free. You guys know that already. Hopefully by this time of this episode, you have checked her website. You have looked in the description to look. Right now, I'm going to share some of her.
And you're not wasting your time doing that research.
Yeah, hopefully you are taking the time to do that research. So one thing I'm going to be sharing in this segment is writing from her book called Guide to Finding Answers Within the Unknown. And this segment in the book is called Answers. Some of us choose to be by ourselves, and in a sense, we are not alone. We have our angels, spirit, guides, and the higher power. Our angels come in human form. Believe me when I say this, I met a great deal of them that live on this earth. You could have met them yourself without even realizing it. What does that make you think of?
I just thought about her. Guru is one of the major angels that I've met in my life, in this lifetime. I would say my mom, my dad. And I feel like every day, or there are often times where you meet people or you're going through something. Either you meet someone or you hear a song or you see a post on the wall and you get a message. And I feel like those are messages from the higher power or wherever you believe in that you're getting. So I feel like there's messages every day and everywhere from people.
I agree. That makes me think of, definitely Guru as being one of those angels. And also a lot of those moments in life where I would meet people that I felt I was open enough to understand what they were trying to tell me. Like if I was going through something in life and I'll meet someone that will they'll just talk about their life and they'll be like, hey, don't worry about money. Money's gonna come. That's not gonna fulfill you. Like in that moment in time, I needed to hear that for whatever I was dealing with in that moment. Another moment for me, like when I felt I was lost in college and out of nowhere, I was with my ex-girlfriend and she gives me the flyer of this major that I wanted to apply to, which was about writing, directing, and comedy, all that stuff. And I'm like, so I believe in those messages highly, and even angels coming down to use other people as vessels to give you the message that you need to hear. So
even things that happen, like there were plenty of times where I wanted to go to LA to pursue acting, and I was like, I have to try that. Tried it. I went for 2 weeks. Then I was gonna come back, save money to move, and I got the message not to go until you get a job from my acting teacher that I was with before. And I ended up booking a children's theater tour. And then again, I tried to do it again. And again, I ended up booking another job. So that's a message like telling you, don't do it.
And I also want to
it's not your time to do it now.
And I also just want to say like to people as well, like no matter what you believe in, just like stay open to what message is trying to get through you. No matter what you believe in, there's definitely messages out there that are coming from either a person, a spiritual source, whatever it is. Stay open to receive. A song you hear, a book you read. A song is use those to motivate yourself and to lift yourself. And because there's a reason why you're hearing it. I can only if it touched you to a point where it's making you think, there's a reason why you receive it. So stay open to hear that. In
the good times and the bad. And it happens mostly when you're questioning things. When you're questioning things or when you're like, oh wow, I feel good about this, and bam, you get a confirmation. So be open.
And I think that's pretty much it.
Thank you.
Where can people, I guess, like follow you on Instagram or Facebook, or if you have a website? I'm gonna put it, of course, in the description. But if you just want to say it, like
my website is alexandragtheactor.com, and my Instagram is the same, alexandragtheactor.
Thank you so much for doing this. I know you regretted this from the moment.
I don't regret it. Honestly, I am so honored that you
hated. Not regretted. I know you hated the idea of being.
You know why? I'm very modest and I don't like talking about myself.
You hated this idea from the moment that I brought it up to you, and I kept on insisting. No, you have a story. You have a journey. It should be heard.
Thank you.
I want to know more of it. I know a good portion of you, but there's also other portions that I'm still getting to know, just like we will continue to go. And I always felt like, you should say your story and like stop fighting it. I never understood. I guess that's what I kept on. It's like someone was giving you a script. This is the role that you should fucking do, and you're like, no. And I'm like, just fucking do it. But I'm glad you did it.
Thank you.
I learned more about you. in this podcast, and I think it's gonna, whoever listens to it, will also get from this as well. And I think hopefully the most important that would get something out of it would be from you.
Yeah, I did already.
Once again, thank you everybody for checking out another episode of the Win Podcast. You can check us out on SoundCloud, YouTube, Instagram at the Win Podcast. And any information you want to check out, just look at the description box and all the information is there. So thank you again, and I hope you enjoyed another episode. Peace.